And let's go to number 1. So number 1 is asking you to order the numbers from least to greatest. And there's, I don't know, so many ways you can do this. I mean, you can draw a number line, right? So let me draw a number line, and you can put the numbers on the number line, and then see who's further to the left, who's further to the right, etc. So here's 0. I mean, let's put negative 22 over here. Right, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 22 is here. 7 will be to the right of 0 because it's positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About right there. Negative 4 is negative, so it's to the left of 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's negative 4. Negative 17 is also to the left of 0. So negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Somewhere around here is negative 17. And negative 5, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, negative 4, negative 5. So who, you don't have to draw a number line, but now it's clear, very clear, as to who has the least value. So the further left you go, the least small in value you are, and the further right you go, the greater in value you are. So the smallest number is negative 17, sorry, negative 22, and then negative 17, negative 5, negative 4, and 7, right? You can think about money. Who's the poorest person? Poorest person is this guy. Who's the richest person? Richest person here in this group is usually the one who is at 7. Okay. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one is kind of simple, right? Where you can change the subtraction problem to addition by keeping the first added and changing the problem by changing the problem. So the subtraction, we're going to change it to addition, and we're going to use the additive inverse of negative 9, which is 9. Negative 12 plus 9, who's going to win here? I mean, if you think about, negatives against positives, well, the negatives are going to win. Why? Because they have more. How many more? 3 more. So again, a lot of things, whichever makes it easier for you to understand. Negative 35 plus negative 37. Now I'm going to draw a number line. Here's 0. First we go left, right, because it's negative, so we're going to go negative 35, and then we're going to add a negative, so we're going to go even further left. We're going to take another negative 27 units to the left. Where are we? So how far left would we go? Well, we're in negative territory, so 35 plus 27, 1262, sorry. So we are at negative 62. 6 minus negative 19 is sort of like number 2, so we're going to add and change it to an addition problem by changing the subtraction to addition, and then adding the additive inverse of the second addend, which in this case will be positive 19. 6 plus 19 is just 25. Now, order of operations come into play here. We have a division and multiplication. So, I mean, think about order of operations. We're going to do grouping first, right? Grouping comes first. Think parentheses, brackets, braces, right? And then second is exponents. Here's an example, exponents, and then it's multiplication or division, and addition or subtraction. So from left to right for the last two. So we have 20 divided by negative 2 times 3. So we're going to do division, right? There's no parentheses, no grouping here. There's no exponents, but there is multiplication and division. So in this case, we'll do division because it comes first from left to right. So 20 divided by negative 2 is negative 10. And then negative 10 times 3 is going to be negative 30. Okay, simple enough. Oh, we're going to do 6 now. 6, 7. Okay, same thing here. Just move. What the heck is going on here? Nope. All right, so number 6, which is on top here, we have an addition, we have a multiplication, and we have a subtraction. So which one comes first? Well, there's no grouping, there's no exponent, so there is a multiplication. So we're going to do 5 times 2. So negative 4 plus, and this is 5 times 2, which is 10, minus 6. Now we have an addition and subtraction, right? So which one do we do first? We do addition it comes first from left to right. So negative 4 and 10 is negative 6. Sorry, positive 6. Which I don't even need the positive. You get 6, and then minus 6, you get 0. (7a), it's negative 5, so let me write it's negative 5 to the second power minus 5. So think about what this is. It's negative, so that is an exponent. It's telling everybody in the parentheses to multiply by itself 2 times. So that actually means negative 5 times negative 5 2 times. Why? Because that's what that exponent is for. Minus 5. So now we can do, well, we get multiplication comes before subtraction. So negative times a negative is a positive. And then 5 times 5 is 25. Minus 5, and 25 minus 5 becomes just 20. 7. Which of these 4, A, B, C, or D, has an answer of negative 5? So let's take a, so we did, we actually did A. A was not it because the answer was 20, right? Well, let's look at B. 9 over, or 9 divided by negative 2 plus negative 1. Well, in the numerator, 9, there's nothing to do, so we're going to leave that alone. So here's my 9. But at the denominator, we have negative 2 plus 1. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 3. Now we can divide. What is 9? So remember, this is the same thing as this. Right? So positive divided by a negative, so it gives me a negative. And 9 divided by 3 is a 3. So, is that negative 5? No, so I still don't want that one. C is 13 plus 4 times negative 2. Grouping? No. Exponent? No. Is there multiplication or division? Yes, right here. So let's take care of that first. So 13 plus 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Now we can add 13 plus negative 8. We're going to get 5 positive. Is that the same? Excuse me, negative 5? No, it's not. So we also don't want that. And then finally we have 4 times negative 2 divided by 2. On the top, 4 is a positive times a negative. We get a negative. 4 times 2 is 8. And at the bottom we get 2. Remember, this is the same thing as this. Negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 8 divided by 2 is just 2. So the answer is negative 2. All right, so number 8. So number 8 is a little bit tricky. And we have, so first of all, it says, which of the following has the same value as absolute value of negative 5 minus 3? So which of these, A, B, C, or D, is the same as the absolute value of negative 5 and minus 3? So let's find out what that is first. Negative 5 minus 3 plus negative 5, I'm going to change it to addition, plus negative 3. Difference? Yes. Right, so it becomes negative 8. What's the absolute value of negative 8? Think about what that means. So here's 0, here's negative 8. How far is negative 8 to 0? So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The distance, it's 8 units. So, and remember, distance can't be positive. Sorry, it can't be negative. It's always a non-zero number. So it can be positive or 0, but in this case it's a positive number. So the absolute value of negative 8 is 8. So this is equal to 8. Now, we got to look at A, B, C, and D to see who is the same as 8. Well, let's take a look at D. D is negative 8. Is that the same as 8? No. B is 4. Is that the same thing as 8? No. C, well, what's the absolute value of negative 8? Absolute value. So that's, C says, negative 8, what's the absolute value? It's 8. Is that the same as this guy here? Yes, it is. So that's our answer. And A, by the way, wouldn't be, well, let's just do absolute value of negative 5 minus the absolute value of 3. Absolute value of negative 5 is 5, minus absolute value of 3 is 3, and 5 minus 3 is just 2. So that's definitely not the answer. Number 9, we're looking for a situation where it results in a 0 value. So let's look at the first one. The temperature after a decrease of 6 Fahrenheit from a temperature of negative 10. I hate when they word it like that. I'm not a big fan. Temperature after a decrease. So the temperature was negative 10. So here was the temperature. Negative 10. It decreased, so it means it went down. Right? It went down 6. So minus 6. Is that going to equal to 0? No. So if you're at negative 10 and you go down 6, you actually go to negative 16. Is that 0? No, that's not it. The height of an airplane. So here's your airplane. Right, here's your airplane on the ground. How do you draw an airplane? Right, so here's your airplane, and it's going to go up 1,000 feet. Is that going to give you 0? No. The amount of money received in change after making a $10 purchase with a $20 bill. So you go to the store, you buy something for $10, right? You give them $20. Well, if you pay with $20 and something that you bought cost $10, you're going to have $10 in change. Is that what we're looking for? Also, no. D, the distance above sea level after increasing 20 meters from a depth of 24 meters below sea level. So here's the water. You were at negative 24. You go up 24. Where are you? Well, you're going to be at 0, the surface of the water. So this is the one that we want. 10. So I think the question was missing a part here, but it says which expression is equivalent to 5 minus negative 23? Well, first of all, what's 5 minus negative 23? Negative 23 is going to be 5 plus 23, which equals 28. Number 11, let's draw a picture or something that represents the situation. At sunset, the thermometer was reading 9 degrees. So here is 9 degrees at sunset. The temperature decreased. So the temperature is decreased by 7 means it's going to go down 7. Minus 7. So if it's 9 and it goes down by 7, where do we end up? We end up at 2. That's not the question though. The question says, after the decrease, what temperature must change for the thermometer to reach 0? So if you're at 2 and you want to go to 0, what needs to happen? Well, you need to go down by what? 2 degrees, right? So from 2, how many do you have to go to 0? You have to go down 2. The following question, I think it says, point P is shown on the number line below. Find the distance between point Q and P 6 units away. Which number could represent point Q? So I mentioned this earlier. If it helps, here's negative 4, here's P. Why don't you complete? So see how we're missing some numbers, right? Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. You know, you can add these numbers here. That's a 1. Negative 1, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we can add it, right? So it's negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9. We can add these numbers. Right, so a point that's 6 units away, well, to the right of it, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Q could be positive 2. That's a possibility. And if we go left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Q can also be negative 10. So there's 2 possibilities for Q, negative 10 and 2. 13. Okay, so 13 says, what does 13 say? from 12 midnight to 6 a.m., the temperature decreased by 5 degrees. If the original temperature was 2, what expression can be used to represent the situation? So what's happening here? At 12 midnight, 12 a.m., the temperature was 2. So let me write that. Temperature was 2, because it says here. Temperature was 2 degrees. And then something happened. It was a decrease by 5, right? It says decrease by 5, so we're going to use plus negative 5. And then they're asking you they asked you what expression can represent this situation. So here's that expression. It was a 2, it decreased by negative 5. It didn't ask you for the answer, but this expression over here represents what's going on over here. It was 2 degrees, it decreased by 5, and decreased by 5 is a plus a negative integer. 14, the temperature fell 40 degrees in 10 hours. So you had 10 hours, right? If the temperature fell at the same rate every hour, which temperature represents the change in temperature in 1 hour? So I think you can think about money. Hey, I was in a casino, I lost $40 in 10 hours. If I lost the same amount every hour, how much money did I lose per hour? So in this case, you can simply do 40, or negative 40 in this case, divided by 10. That gives you negative 4. So the change is negative 4 degrees every hour, right? Because every hour you lose negative 4, another hour, negative 4, another hour, negative 4, negative 4, negative 4, and so on and so on. How many times? For 10 hours. So if that repeats for 10 hours, it's negative 4 times 10, and you get negative 40. Right? So negative 4 times 10, which is negative 40. So that's it. Sorry. A diver, right? Here's the ocean. So there's somebody over here. The ocean over here, and there's a diver over here, right? And he's at negative 35. And then it says that the diver is going to go down, right? Undersea to an undersea cave that is 4 times as far from the surface. So there's a cave here. He wants to go all the way down here. And this distance here, right, is 4 times, right? That's what it says here. 4 times as far from the surface. So we know that's already negative 35. So 4 times negative 35 is going to be negative 40. Okay. 16, Lucas recorded the low temperature for 1 week. On which day was the low temperature furthest away from 0? So I'm going to do a number line here. So let's do a number line here. Oh, here's 0. That's right, 12 positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here's 12. And that's Sunday. Monday, negative 5. So it's negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Negative 5. That's Monday. Tuesday is 2. Let me put a Tuesday over here. Wednesday is negative 9. So negative 9 is over here. Thursday is 4. So 0, 2, 4 about here. I'll put TH for Thursday. Friday is 0, so I'll put an F for Friday. And Saturday is negative 10, so 0, negative 5, negative 6, 7, 8, 9, negative 10, and we'll call that Saturday. So which of these days is furthest away from 0? Okay, furthest away from 0, it'd be this guy right here. This 12 is the furthest number away from 0. 17. The average temperature went from negative 10. So in January, it was negative 10. In March, is 35. So did it go up? So it went that way, right? It increased. How much did it increase from January to March? So think about it. It's negative 10 plus something equals 35. So what is this number? right? So that's what you focus on. So negative 10 plus this unknown value equals 35. Well, we know it's going to be positive, right? So if you think about what we did the other day in class, right? So we want to change, and to find the change, right? This. Remember, this was the start. This is the change, and this is the final. But we want to change. So the change is final, right? Minus start. So change equals final, which is 35, right? The final is 35 minus negative 10, and we get 35 plus 10, which gives me 45. So the change here, right? Yeah, what was the change? The change was 45 degrees. And that makes sense, right? So negative 10 plus 45 is 35. Is that true? Yeah, it is. Yeah, we don't know. 18, true or false. Are they the same? So let me write it here a little bit. Negative 4 plus negative 2. Is that the same thing as this? Or are they different? That's the question. So let's figure out this on the left side first. So negative 4 plus negative 2 is negative 6. What's the absolute value of negative 6? The absolute value of negative 6 is 6. So this whole thing is 6. This becomes this, and this becomes that. Right. On the other side, well, that negative side, it's outside. Okay, it's outside. So we gotta just leave it there. Now, inside the absolute value, 4 plus 2 is 6. And then, remember, this becomes this, and this will become this. Now, what's the absolute? So the minus sign is going to stay here. And what's the absolute value of 6? Which is 6. So are they the same? No, they are different. Okay, and you better explain. Okay. 19. So a cook removes a package from the freezer and begins to defrost. There's something that's really, really cold, and it's going to obviously increase in temperature. So here is, well, if you use a number line, right, here's negative 6, and it's going to go up all the way to 25 degrees. So, again, if you want to think about a thermometer, it went up, or if you want to do, where did we start? We start, so think about start, change, and final, right? All right, let me erase that. So here's what's happening. Where do we start? We start at negative 6. Is it going to go up? Right? Is it going up? Yeah, so it's going to go up. And then it's going to become 25. What is this number over here? That's what we're looking for. So if it's negative 6, and you have to go all the way to 25, think of an elevator. You're 6 floors underground, and then you have to go all the way to the 25th floor. How many floors did the elevator travel? That's another way you can think about it. And think about money. Here, you owe $6 to someone. You're in debt. So your parents come and give you some money. Is that money that your parents give you? You pay your debt, and you're left with $25. So how much did they give you? So this is a change. So remember, change, if you look at your notebook, is final. We can do final minus start. The final is 25 minus, what do we start with? Negative 6. And if we do that, we get 25, change it to addition, plus the inverse, additive inverse of negative 6, which is 6. So 31. So the answer to this question is change. How much was the change? Positive 31. Last question. Then I'm pointing to the student sleep. The student made a mistake here. There is a mistake here. What was the mistake? So why don't we do our own here? Negative 8 minus 8 divided by 4 plus 3. So if you think about it, grouping comes first, right? The parentheses, brackets, braces, and stuff. Do you see any parentheses over here? Brackets? No. Exponents. Do you see, like, here's an example. Do you see an exponent in this problem? No. Next one, multiplication or division. Do you see multiplication or division? Yes. It's right here. So we have to do that one first. So, -8 minus, and what's 8 divided by 4? 8 divided by 4 is 2 plus 3. Now let's look at this guy over here. Did he do that? Now the first thing he did was -8 minus 8, which is 16. So his mistake, and now highlight it, it's right here. Oops. His mistake, his error is right here. Oops. Sorry. Just underline. Here's his mistake. Why? Because he did -8 minus 8 first. Can he do that? No, he can't. He should have done 8 divided by 4. That's the first step. So right away you can tell that this was a mistake, so explain it. Right, so let's keep on going here. And then 8 divided by 4 is 2, and then plus 3. Now there's no more multiplication or division. We can add or subtract. And which one do we first? We do it from left to right, so we're going to do the subtraction first. So -8 minus 2 is -8 plus -2. And that becomes -10. And then finally we can do plus 3. Final answer, -7. So here's our answer. So in this problem you have to tell me, here is the mistake. The mistake was that he did -8 minus 8 first, where he should have done 8 divided by 4 first. Right, so you're pointing out where the mistake was, and then you have to show me the correct work. All right, so that's that. Hopefully, oh, I forgot. And the bonus word is this one. Okay, that's my nephew's name. That's going to be the bonus word. All right. That's it.